You start the day strong, focused, determined, but one tiny distraction, and suddenly you're off track. The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. At first, bad habits seem harmless. A few minutes of distraction doesn't feel like much. But over time, these small lapses build up until they become chains that hold you back, making it almost impossible to break free. Regret sets in. The motivation from the morning feels distant now. Once again, the day did not go as planned. The cycle repeats itself. But here's the truth: this isn't just happening to one person. This is the reality for 95% of people who set goals but struggle to follow through. Keep watching. You're about to learn something that the 95% who fail never figure out. But you will. And I promise once you understand this, everything will change. No more struggling to stay on track. No more guilt. No more feeling like you've let yourself down. You just have to remember these 5 simple, effective points I will tell you. Once you do, you'll never fall into this cycle again, I promise. And by the end of this video, you won't just know what to do. You'll feel ready to take action. Here is a simple yet powerful 5-step process to achieve success. You will also get a bonus tip which works like magic in your life. Don't miss it. Step 1. Understand your natural rhythm. Observe before you plan. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Before creating a timetable, pause. For the next 2 days, simply observe. When do you feel the most energetic? When do you naturally feel sleepy? When do you find it easiest to concentrate? Most people fail at timetables because they force themselves into someone else's routine rather than working with their own rhythm. If your energy peaks at night, waking up at 5 a.m. won't magically make you productive. Epictetus reminds us, control what's in your power, your schedule, your habits, and accept what isn't. Instead of forcing discipline, design your timetable around your natural strengths. Not fighting yourself, but working with yourself. That's how you create a system you'll actually follow. Step 2. Shrink your timetable. The 2-minute rule. Most people don't struggle with effort. They struggle with starting. The bigger the task looks, the harder it feels. A new routine often seems exciting at first. Waking up at 5 a.m. Studying for hours, working out daily. But give it 2 days and suddenly, the motivation fades. The old habits creep back in. And before you know it, you're right where you started. It is because when the mind sees a huge challenge, it resists. So instead of fighting this, use a simple trick. Make the task so small that failure is impossible. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The biggest accomplishments start with one simple action. Instead of overwhelming yourself with a massive schedule, begin with the smallest possible step. If you plan to study for 2 hours, start with just 2 minutes. Open the book. Read 1 paragraph. Although you might not study for the full 2 hours, at least you have started. And the magic is, once you begin, momentum takes over. Do this consistently, and one day, you'll reach those 2 hours effortlessly. And once you start, there's no going back. Studying for 2 hours will no longer feel like a challenge. It will become second nature. But this isn't just about studying. You can use this trick to build any habit. Exercising, reading, meditating. Just start with 2 minutes. Make it so small that failure is impossible. And watch the magic unfold. Before you know it, what once felt difficult will become effortless. Step 3. Habit stacking. Link new habits to old ones. A schedule shouldn't feel like a new burden. It should blend into your existing life. The best way to do this: attach new habits to ones you already do. Want to read daily? Do it right after brushing your teeth. Need to exercise? Stretch before your morning coffee. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. Starting is the hardest part, but when you connect new habits to old ones, you eliminate friction. You don't have to push yourself every time. habit becomes automatic. Instead of struggling to follow a timetable, your habits will naturally lead you there. Step 4. Remove friction. Make distractions hard. Distractions don't ruin productivity, easy access to them does. Instead of trying to resist temptations, simply make them harder to reach. Keep your phone in another room. Block social media apps during work hours. Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Most people wish life were easier, that distractions didn't exist, that motivation was constant. But success doesn't come from a perfect environment. It comes from your ability to stay committed even when things aren't ideal. Step 5. Time boxing. Plan with flexibility. One of the biggest mistakes, creating rigid schedules that fall apart after one small delay. Life is unpredictable. Your timetable should be too. Instead of setting strict times, use flexible time ranges. Instead of study from 5-6 p.m., try study anytime between 5-7 p.m. This removes stress while keeping productivity high. The wise adapt themselves to circumstances, as water molds itself to the pitcher. This quote teaches a key lesson. Rigidity leads to failure, but flexibility leads to success. Just like water adjusts to any container, your schedule should adjust to life's unpredictability. If you miss a time slot, you haven't failed, you still have a window to complete the task. Now comes the bonus. Rewire identity. Act as if you already are. Everything starts with how you see yourself. If you believe you're inconsistent, your actions will reflect that. But when you start seeing yourself as someone who follows through, your habits will align with that belief. Ask yourself, what would the best version of me do right now? You are what you repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. The secret to success. Excellence isn't a one-time effort. It's the result of repeated actions. If you act disciplined every day, even in small ways, you will become disciplined. Instead of waiting for motivation, act like the person you want to be, and soon it will feel natural. The fact that you're here is not a coincidence. The universe didn't bring you here by accident. Most people quit, most people make excuses, but you are not most people. You are here because you refuse to stay the same. A man is literally what he thinks. Think like a disciplined person, and you become one. Act like the person you want to be, and soon it won't be an act, it'll be your reality. Now, it's time for your first action. Type "I am disciplined" in the comments. Make it real, say it, claim it, own it. Because today, you don't just follow a timetable, you transform into the person who never needs to break one again. If this video sparked even one idea in you, imagine what consistent learning could do. Don't just watch, take action. Hit subscribe and turn your mind into a powerhouse of discipline and success. Your transformation starts now.